Hi, I'm Tony Northup, and for Chapter 5 of my book, Stunning Digital Photography, I'd like to walk you through the process of recovering your photos if they get lost using completely free software. Lots of people will try to sell you software for file or photo recovery. They pretty much all use this software that I'm going to introduce you to in the back end anyway, and it's perfectly easy to use. So there's no need to pay a penny, and it can save you from a lot of scenarios such as accidentally deleting photos, accidentally formatting a memory card, and often a failed memory card or failed hard drive. Believe it or not, if you can't access your files, you can often still recover them using this tool. So I'm going to go for the photography scenario here, even though you can recover Word files or just about any other type of file besides pictures. And I'll start by just taking a picture of my watch so that you know it's happening in real time. All right, so it's about 2:23. With that taken, I'm now going to just format my memory card. Okay to delete all images, formatting complete. If I hit the playback button, folder contains no images. Moment of panic, right? Don't worry. I'm going to pop the memory card out, put it into my memory card reader here. Now I'm going to go download a tool called PhotoRec or QPhotoRec, and you can get it from sdp.io/PhotoRec. That's just a shortcut that I made for you. It always takes you to the right page. And over here on the right, you see a big link, free download. There's versions of PhotoRec for Windows, macOS, Linux. It's completely free software. They do accept donations, and if they save your butt, I'd suggest donating a little bit. I know I have. So once it downloads, just open it up. You should be able to double-click it, keep digging in, and eventually you'll see this big folder here. It doesn't really install itself, but it's not too bad. In this mess of files, at least in the Windows platform, you'll see QPhotoRec Win. There are different versions for other operating systems. So now I'll click Extract All and just get it installed. Okay. So now you can see it's extracted, and now I can open up QPhotoRec. Now again, it's not installing, it's not ever going to be on the start menu, it just runs as a standalone app. It's a little unusual in that way, but nonetheless, it works perfectly fine. Now, when QPhotoRec opens, it allows me to select the file system that I want to recover from. I'll click at the top up here, and I know it's the G drive that I just inserted, so I select the right drive. And you can see I used a very small memory card because I didn't want this to take a long time. It's a 32 meg memory card. But if you have a huge card, it'll get through it. It'll just take a little bit longer. So I've selected that, and you can choose to either scan only the unallocated space or to extract files from the whole partition. Free is going to be the faster option. Whole is just going to take longer, but it might be able to recover files in other scenarios. If you're not sure, go ahead and select whole, but free will usually do the trick for you just fine. And most of us will just be selecting the FAT/NTFS file system unless you happen to know that you did something different. If you click file formats here, you'll see that it supports just about every type of file format. You don't need to go through there. It'll pretty much be able to find your pictures, even if they're RAW files. Even if it's an unusual RAW file format, I've had a lot of luck with it. So now up here, I'm going to select whole disk. And down here, I'll select browse to select a folder to save the recovered files in. So I'll just put this right on my desktop. We'll make a new folder called recovered. I'll click select folder, and now I'm ready to click search down here. Now it's actually going through that drive and digging through the data that's on the drive itself. When you format a drive, what happens is you basically rip the table of contents out of the book. So if you do that, the entire book is still there, and you'd be able to find any page if you had the patience to go through page by page. So that's what it's doing. It's basically looking at every single page and figuring out where each picture begins and ends on the disk, and then saving it as a new file. So that didn't take long at all because it was actually a very small drive. Again, your terabyte drive might take a little bit longer. So I'll browse to the desktop and open up my recovered folder. You can see it made a subfolder in there. I'll dig right in there. And here you can see my JPEG files, along with a couple of files that I don't even remember taking. But nonetheless, here's the picture of my watch that I took. Oh, that's a very small picture. There we go. There's the big picture. Some of those were little thumbnails that were probably stored in the JPEG file themselves, so that's why you saw 2 copies of those. But nonetheless, my full-sized picture is here. It's in good shape, and I hope PhotoRec saves you someday, though I hope you never need it. I'll also add that anytime you ask a nerd to recover your files, you're bound to get a lecture about backing up your files. And it's never the right time when somebody's heartbroken about losing their files to lecture them. But now that you've been able to recover your files, I will say that it's important to back up your files because we all eventually suffer some sort of data loss, and your pictures are really, really important to you. They are your memories. Now, I suggest buying an external USB 3 drive, connecting it to your computer, and setting up your operating system's backup software. There's backup software built into Windows and Mac OS, and having it automatically back up all new files. Your external drive must be larger than your computer's internal drive. So if you have 1 terabyte internally, buy a 2 terabyte drive. Give yourself plenty of extra space and let those backups run automatically. That's an excellent local backup, and it will save you if your hard drive fails or if you accidentally delete files. However, it will not save you from some sort of natural disaster like a fire or flood. It will also not save you from theft, and those are really common scenarios. For those scenarios, I would suggest offsite backups. Basically, what we call them nowadays are cloud backups. So search for cloud backup service, and you'll find a variety of different services that will do that for you. You'll install a client application on your computer, which will scan your computer for new files every day and send them off to the internet. They will charge you some sort of monthly fee to keep your files. But if there's a file or something, you can visit the website and download everything again. That protects you from those sort of more serious disasters. So again, if you're not doing some sort of backup solution, it's only a matter of time before you lose your pictures. If you lose your pictures because of a hard drive failure, PhotoRec might be able to recover some of your pictures. It doesn't recover it in every scenario, but it can recover it from a failed card or a failed hard drive often. But you always need a backup.